The Bulls would come in with the largest cap space next season. We need a lot of players in our team and we need wings. Are we going to sign Tari Eason, Peyton Watson, both? How about the center? We'll talk about it.
Get the lowdown on one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
What is going on, Bulls Nation? So the Chicago Bulls have a lot of holes in their roster, and we know that. The one thing that we should think about is the wing position and the center spot. The point guard, I think we have a lot of guards already. We have obviously Josh Giddey. I don't necessarily know if we need to build around Josh Giddey or we still need to find players that will be the guy. We know we have two, at least at a minimum, three good players in this team, which is Josh, Matas, and Trey Jones. They're good players. I don't know if I can call them cornerstone of the franchise good, but they're good players. So for now that you don't have an actual, number one option, for now, I'm not saying they can't be. You got to start looking for that number one option. And there's two holes in here in this team, which is the center spot and the wing. Now, the center spot is a bit tricky. There's really no young center outside of Walker Kessler, and I firmly believe the Jazz would retain him. Unless you probably overpay him. I don't know if you really want to overpay on Walker Kessler, but hey, you never know with the Chicago Bulls. Now, on the wings, there are a couple of young, intriguing prospects that you do have. And that is Tari Eason and Peyton Watson. They are both restricted free agents, meaning their respective teams can match any offer that the Bulls can give those two young men. The problem with their retaining team is that that's going to put them over the second apron. Maybe not Houston, but depending on if you offer $30 million to Tari Eason, it'll be difficult. They could, but for Houston to match that, I mean, if they do, they are like $1 million away from a luxury tax. From second apron. Denver's already on second apron next year, so they gotta do some moves to free up cap space to even sign Peyton Watson, even to a $20 million contract. And now coming up this season, there's 4 teams that stands out that can offer those kind of money outside of the retaining teams. Obviously, the one is first is the Bulls. They have so much cap space. The second one's Brooklyn Nets. They probably cannot get both. They're gonna offer one or the other. And then you got the Los Angeles Lakers, which is kind of intriguing because they have a lot of cap space, not as much as the Bulls, but they have to find out what they're going to do with LeBron. Are they going to re-sign him? Are they going to, for a lower number? Are they going to keep him? My bet is they're going to do a sign and trade for LeBron to Cleveland to get Jared Allen, and then LeBron goes back to Cleveland. But that's just a guess. So that means LeBron's going to sign for 28, for example. They get Jared Allen. So now they are kind of like lowered on the tier now, and now they have to re-sign Austin Reeves. So I'm not too worried about the Lakers because I know they're going to make some moves and probably not going to be in the way of Chicago. The other team that's kind of intriguing is the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to try to continue to keep on winning, sign veteran players? Who knows? But we'll just talk about these two young prospects right here with Tari Eason and Peyton Watson. I like both of them. They're big. They're both 6'8", pretty athletic. They can defend, can shoot the three. If I have to choose one or the other, I personally like Peyton Watson more. I don't know. There's something about his game that's being shifty. He's kind of lanky. But I feel like he's a better defender. I don't know. Like, there's something about Peyton Watson that just kind of intrigued me more. Although I wouldn't complain with either or both. The Bulls can theoretically sign both if it's the right number. And I feel like it has to be the right number. I like both players. I think they're both promising. They're both young, so they have room to grow. Look at that. Look at that defense by Peyton Watson. I think they have both room to grow, and they have the makeup to be the number one guy. It's not clear right now that they're the number one guy because of the teams that they're playing for. They're both playing for playoff teams, contending teams. So it's really hard to assess what their real value is. But as the Bulls, you're going to have to overpay for either. I think the bar has been set because Christian Braun signed 25 mil last year. So to be able to pry these two young men, these two nice wings out of their respective teams, I think the starting point is 25. Now that's not going to kill the Bulls if they spend 25 million on these guys. The problem is there going to be a bidding war against, let's say, somebody like Brooklyn. Now if there is, especially for Denver can do some maneuvers that could avoid that. If the Bulls are not completely sold on Peyton Watson and they don't want to pay, for example, 35, if Brooklyn offers Peyton Watson 35, that's a little bit hard if you're the Bulls, because what if he's the next Patrick Williams? I highly doubt it. Let me be very clear here. I highly doubt it because he has shown so much upside, but Patrick Williams has shown upside a little bit as well. But imagine having 35 million, he's getting injured and all that stuff. I don't know if he's an injury-prone player. He doesn't look like it, but maybe 32, 33 would be your max. If you don't want to do that, I think Denver is not going to match that at all. But if it's somewhere around 30 and Denver's going to be like, well, you know what, we're going to match anything, you might as well help Denver facilitate this by acquiring their shooter that they just acquired and then get a first rounder on them. Kind of like what Brooklyn did for they gave up Cam Johnson. The Bulls would take Cam Johnson and a first rounder. I don't know if AK would want to do something like that. I think AK is going to be in the hot seat after this season because this is his first quote unquote rebuild. And he needs to do this right because next year he's not going to have all these expiring contracts. But I like Peyton Watson. I like Tari Eason as well. They both don't scream to me like, hey, they are the next big thing. So I'm not fully convinced that you need to throw the money at them. It's not like it's Anthony Edwards. Like, hey, whatever, open checkbook. Here you go, sign it. With these two guys, you still got to be careful on what you offer them, because at the end of the day, if there are not the guys, you still want to be able to have the ability to trade them and not attach assets to it. Keep in mind, whoever the Bulls sign, they're probably going to sign them for 4 years, and whatever that number is. If it's 25, that'll be 100 million. If it's 30, that's going to be 120 million. And what would it do in the clubhouse, in the locker room? And for example, if Tari Eason signs more than Josh Giddey, would that be a problem? I don't think so, but hey, you never know. But again, I don't mind if they sort of overspend on either player. It just needs to be a calculated risk. By that, I mean maybe no more than 30, if all possible, especially with Peyton Watson. Denver's going to have a difficult time matching 30 mil. Even if they trade Cam Johnson, that will be completely difficult for Denver. I think the best play here is to let Brooklyn pick their guy. And then, because either one I'm totally fine with. And then, so you don't have to compete with another team and then get the other guy, so... But we'll see. We'll see how this free agency happens, because the ideal free agent for me would be Peyton Watson and or Tari Eason, and then a big, a good center like Mark Williams. Although Mark Williams is going to be hard to pry against the Suns because their cap situation is a lot better than Houston and Denver. But we'll see. But let me know in the comments, who would you like the Bulls to sign? It has to be free agent, of course. Next season and use their cap space. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.